Welcome to another Advisor Insights video. We have spent the entire morning arguing and debating how to carry our loads, etc. But we're going to take our own unique take on a backpack review today. We've got 6 of the most popular brands that for hunters. We're going to walk through each of those here in just a minute. But bottom line is we each have an identical 50-pound bag of salt. As you can see, we're not all equal shapes and sizes here, so we will give our dimensions shortly for the video. If you're lean and athletic like Mr. Garth Jensen here, you may want to weight his opinion heavier than Isaiah, who clearly spends all his time in the gym working on his beach muscles and ignoring his chicken legs. But bottom line is we'll walk through that. We realize that switching packs, sometimes it takes hours, if not days, to really get a pack to fit good. But having said that, we also feel like that's a sign of a really good pack, that you can get it quickly customized to your body. So with that said, we're going to run through our packs and our dimensions.
I'm Isaiah Joner. I'm 6 foot, 210, and I have a 34-inch waist.
Stanton Upson. I'm 5'7", 200 pounds, and I got a 35-inch waist.
I'm Braxton Byers, 6 foot, 195 with a 33-inch waist.
Garth Jensen, 5'10", 170, 32-inch waist.
Suck it in.
Turn to the side with that.
Can you hurry?
Belt.
6'2", about 210, and I've got about a 36-inch waist.
My name's Jared Lyle, and I'm 6 foot, 212, and I've got a 35-inch waist.
Okay, chest and shoulder comfort.
7-ish.
Lumbar comfort.
9.
Screw it in.
And overall comfort.
True. How do you just
The initial ascent.
Show me how you loosen it.
This looks like a way.
Did you break a nail? I'm telling you, it's a serious
Always
problem.
just go like this.
But you don't run it as tight as I do, because
That's
you're
the
just
same-
carrying your water. You go for the buckle,
No, I
that's
don't do that
dangerous.
either.
What's dangerous about it?
Break it.
You can?
When one side comes out, the other one doesn't. But Brady, if they'd put a little flipper on it like here, you change the buckle, this is super easy to grab.
Sawtooth.
Boom. You want to get her tight?
So far on this hike, I definitely have sort of a favorite for what we're doing here with the weight and stuff. But honestly, I use different packs for different purposes, and I can pretty much guarantee by the time I get off the mountain that every one of these would be a nice pack to have in my arsenal for different purposes. Some of them are sturdier than others, like stiff, sturdy frames. That's what I want for a heavy load. Others are more about comfort when you're doing like a multi-day backpack trip and trying to stay light, but also have comfort. So I think we're gonna find that everybody's got different opinions on the particular pack on this. But personally, so far I love them all for different purposes.
All right, we're back in the office now. Just got back in here after the hike. I think it was about 4.5 miles. We each wore every pack, so kind of got a good feel. This is the initial Ascent 4K. This is the pack that I ran last year. I really like the, how sturdy it is. Probably my favorite thing is I have a bad, lower back, so the lumbar pad is real stiff and hard. It keeps me up straight. I really like that. One thing that I probably would like to see on this bag is the front pockets. Once the bag is loaded, it's kind of hard to get things down in there. So the stretchy material, I'd like to see a little bit more room to, keep the things that you want to get to and not have to go through the whole bag to find.
All right. The thing I really like about this pack is with 60 pounds in there with the wider platform, pretty stable. It's not very shifty on you. Unlike Braxton, the lumbar pad was a little aggressive for me. I could do with a little less padding and maybe a little softer.
And I noticed when I was packing with it and carrying down off the hill, the lumbar pad really I didn't like to begin with, but when I got done with it, I really kind of liked that stiffer pad. So that's the thing that I think I liked the most about it when I was done packing with it. The thing I didn't like about it, or I think they could improve, these hip belts are a little bit stiff and a little bit big for me.
Too wide.
And they dug into my ribs because where I carry my pack. Because you have low body fat. Well, maybe.
You have ribs.
I have ribs.
I really like this pack. I actually took it on the first incline portion of our hike today. I didn't really get to do too much downhill, just the little bit in between the saddles on the uphill portion, but I really liked how stable it was, especially with the weight in it. Carried really well, was really stable. But again, I kind of am with Joner. I think that the lumbar pad was probably just a little bit too aggressive for me, but as a whole, I really did like this pack.
Yeah, I think Joner, Stan, and I are all in the same boat. Like, I loved how stiff the frame was. On my back, it felt like I felt like I could put a super heavy load on this thing and have it not ever move, not shift, and pack out a heavy load. And I too did not like how stiff and thick the lumbar pad was, but Garth, part of the reason you might have actually liked it is because we figured out that this thing is actually fully adjustable over several inches of range. Right. So you can kind of adjust it up and down your back, which I think is probably a good pro for it too. Yep.
Here we have the Kuya Pro 6000. A lot of us here in the office have run this pack over the years. This year was first year they came out with the Pro. I use it pretty much on all of my backpack hunts. Today, one thing I just can't ever get away from Kuya is the ease of adjustability through the pack and the bag. It's just super simple and super quick. I still, again, their lumbar pad is just a little too big for my body, so I just struggle. I would like to see a little bit of adjustability in there where you could add foam or take foam out when needed.
Yeah, and I this was one of my, packs I like more because, again, the lumbar pad. This pack is a little bigger than some of the other packs, so it kind of felt a little heavier on the trail today. So I don't think that's the pack's fault. But all in all, it was a great pack. I really liked the way it sit on me, and I did like the lower half of this bag a lot.
Yeah, I'm with Isaiah. The way you can switch that out and adjust the shoulder straps, the waist belt, get to your load shelf, everything about that is just so simple, so easy, and you can do it so fast that's probably my biggest pro for this pack. If there was anything that I would probably change on this pack, I don't know.
Hey, that's a good sign.
I'm just trying to think of something that isn't quite that great about it. But honestly, like
the lid separation we were talking about earlier.
The lid separation is something that's a little bit different. But overall, like I say, it's been a great pack, and I just love the flexibility I have with it.
Right. Yeah, you can put other bags on it too, on that frame, which makes it kind of nice too. It's more modular.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I have one of the more different bodies than most. I guess everyone here kind of does, but when I switched to the Kuya pack, it was way off for my body style, and the being able to adjust it and slide everything up. I mean, it took us
2 minutes.
Yeah, it didn't take us long at all to get it, and it was perfectly dialed for me. Honestly, I loved the ride of this. This is the first time I've ever even worn a Kuya pack, period. Far from drinking from the Kool-Aid, but I'm a pretty big fan of this pack now. So I don't have a lot of negatives about it. Honestly, it rode really well for me, and like I said, the adjustability that was pretty key.
Yeah. For me, back to what you guys were talking about with adjustability, what I really like with the shoulder pad adjustability in particular is not only can you rip it open and slide it up and down super easy and it stays in a channel, but you can also rotate the shoulder straps in this. It's the only pack that does that. And everybody keeps telling me I have a big fleshy back. That's why the shoulder straps don't fit me right. And so I love the fact that you can rotate those. That's a pro. A con to me in the Kuya bags, and always has been, and I've ran a ton of these. I mean, this is, I've done a lot of miles in a Kuya, is the overall size of the main compartment tends to be a little bit big, and it's hard to kind of organize your gear in it. So I'd like to see some more compartmentalization, probably, personally.
This is the Sawtooth 45. Actually, my first experience with this pack was today, even though I've ran Mystery Ranch exclusively for the last 2 years. Absolutely love their products. They are heavier than most, especially when you compare them across the board, but they ride like a Cadillac, and that's one of the things that I like the best about them.
I would say being able to adjust the back using the plastic shim to go down and separate the Velcro. For most people that haven't used it before or haven't even seen that before, it can be kind of challenging, but again, that's kind of a negative positive because I do like it because it allows you to stay pretty even when you are adjusting it, but it is a little bit tougher if you're not used to that style, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, I've actually ran this pack last year. Do like it a lot. It's a great pack in many ways, but I just feel like throughout the strap system and the hip belt, they could use a little more padding. I even don't like a big lumbar support, and this, I mean, that just doesn't quite cut it. It's pretty thin there. Even the padding throughout the shoulders is pretty thin. But yeah, overall, good pack. Like Stan said, they're well built.
Yeah, and today was the first day I actually had this pack on. You throw a pack with 60 pounds on it. You know, the comfort, everything's not as comfortable with 60 pounds on your back, but I really did like this pack. Probably one of my favorite in the lot. I do agree that, you know, a little more beef up here, but I really like on the mystery wrench how this design is, and it doesn't pinch right here. It kind of folds in together no matter how tight you cinch that belt down.
Yeah, and this is my first experience with the new frame since the old crew cab days. So it's
been a hot second.
It's been a while. So the thing that I really liked about it, probably out of all of them, I liked where the load lifters came off and the ease to pull them down. It just felt really nice, and it felt like it really did cinch that load up to me. I guess the only thing that bothered me about this, right back in here, for whatever reason, when I cinched that down, kind of pinched me right there where that little triangle piece come together.
It's that athletic waist.
Well, I'm just saying.
You gotta beef up a little bit, buddy.
It was a little tight back here, so I didn't like the way the waist belt rode on me, but overall, I think it could be a good pack, and I could probably adjust out of that.
Well, I think that's exactly the point with a pack review like this is like, that was my favorite feature of this pack is the waist belt system. It's segmented. They came out with that new here the last, I think, 2 years ago. And that segmented waist belt system for a guy of my stature.
Yeah, and it can be adjusted too.
Yeah, it felt so good. And it also pulls off of the frame of the pack, off the backside, instead of pulling all the way around the back. So I loved the lumbar and waist system on this. I think my only con with the pack would probably just be that for the size of pack that you get here, it is heavy. It's you don't have a lot of cubic inches here, although you can, you know, the load shelf will open up way big and you can put a lot of weight on it. But it's heavy to start with for the cubic inches that you have. Yeah.
So here we got the Stone Glacier. This is Sky 5900 with the X-Curve frame. We ran this today. I ran this 2 years ago exclusively. I like the pack, I like the design, but overall, what I really love about this is the weight. It's super lightweight. I mean, it doesn't weigh hardly anything. If there was anything that I could really change on it that, you know, I don't like, it's just that there is not much of a lumbar pad there for my body type. And so if I get a heavy load, it tends to start sliding down my ass a little bit.
Go from one extreme to the next. Yep. Too much, too little.
All right, this is actually the first time I used the Stone Glacier today. It was actually one of the packs I thought felt the best with the load in there. Again, you just feel super light, partly because the bag's just so light, I think. My biggest complaint about it is on the hip straps there. There's really no quick way to loosen them. You gotta kind of funnel it back through or just pop the clip loose. But other than that, I'm liking it so far.
And I'm kind of with Garth. Today was my first day to use the pack. So, you know, with that extra weight, again, I like the bigger lumbar pad. So I could see this beefing up down here a little bit more. It was real noticeable, like switching packs from this one to another one. Feeling the weight, and we had the same weight in each pack. So this pack really stood out, you know, with the lighter weight.
You know, I really like this pack as well. I would probably agree with you on the lumbar as well, the support, once we got moving with it. But when I first put it on, I think one of the words that we kept using a lot today was simple. And it's simple, there's not a lot to the bag, but there is a lot to the bag. And just being able to throw it on, adjust it to yourself, I felt like the ease of switching to this bag was probably at the top.
Yeah,
from
quickly
bag
adapted
bag.
to your body.
Yeah.
Yep. Super quick, yeah. Quick adaptation. Yeah, I actually use the word, I'm the farthest thing from nimble out of this group, but I use the word when I first put this pack on that I felt nimble wearing it. It felt light, small, compact on my back. Same thing, I feel like the hip belt area between the lumbar and the quicker adjustments. I do like to be able to release my belt to relax a little bit if you're going to take a little bit of a breather. And you do have to work at the buckle a little bit. I think that's a weight concession. But overall, super lightweight, nimble pack. All right, the next pack we're going to talk about is from Epperly stock, and it's actually not a standard backpack like the other ones that we tested. So in fairness to it, it's designed for super heavy loads, but it's also an ultralight solution. So we kind of brought it along as a hybrid. This is the mainframe, which is a pack frame designed pack, and then also an integrated F7 kite backpack. Again, it took the same load and everything else, so we put it through the same paces, but it definitely rode a little bit different being that way. Important to note that it does come in 2 different frame heights, and honestly, in my opinion, the taller frame is pretty much for most backpackers. So I highly recommend ordering it in the taller frame. For me personally, what I've always loved, I ran this pack 2-3 years ago, and I packed an entire bull out in Wyoming, not at once, but by myself. And I was able to put super heavy loads in this thing because the mainframe comes with integrated bags much like this. Other bags that zip right onto the frame, etc. So it's a really good pack for an extremely heavy load. One of my concerns about it is I don't feel like there's enough adjustment in the shoulder system, personally, right up here at the top of the torso. The height is adjustable, but the way that the shoulder straps come right out, right near where they're anchored, makes it difficult to kind of get it to fit everybody's back. So it fits me a little bit wonky up top. That's my only concern with this pack.
Yeah, and I think as soon as you touch this bag, you know you can put as much weight as you can possibly carry. This bag will handle it. I noticed that as soon as I put it on. I did like all the extra padding back here. It did sit on my shoulders a little bit heavier than some of the other packs just because of the adjustment problems. But all in all, it's a very stout bag, and it'll handle anything you put it through.
Yep. Yeah, I thought this was definitely one of the more comfortable bags today. Yeah, throughout the back, the padding, even the shoulders felt good. I felt like the hip belt could be a little longer, maybe a little more flexible in there. Just seemed to pinch a little in there, but overall, it did well.
Yeah, for me, it actually fit me pretty well. I mean, I thought it was one of the more comfortable bags as well. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more structure in that waist belt, but it felt really good on my back. This padding right here where it came up, you know, and met my back, it felt like everything was in contact, and it really rode well. But again, that was the one thing where I thought you could have used a little more structure in that waist belt.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep going with the waist belt thing. That was probably my biggest, downfall of this bag. I guess it was pinching. On any downhill I had this bag on, it was pinching pretty good in the hip area. I am a wider hipped guy, but you know, that's definitely where they can get some little bit of help right there. But other than that, really comfortable. Can carry some weight. I guess a thing we haven't touched on yet. Ideally, you could drop this pack completely if you're packing meat, much like when Jared killed his bull in Wyoming. You could get back to your truck, kick up the pack, keep just the essentials that you need, and just use this as a gnarly meat hauler because it can handle more weight than you can. So
yep. If you can stand up with it,
yeah.
It can do it.
Yeah, so.
All right, this is the EXO K3 4800 pack. This was my first time with this pack on my back today, and honestly, I couldn't have been more impressed. It literally felt like something like a spider monkey jumped on my back and was hugging it out. It rode nice. It felt good. I really don't have a lot of cons about it. It is a pack that I'll definitely personally be testing out this year. I even like the way the access to the load shelf is. So I'm gonna try one.
I thought the pack was very good. It felt good. My only problem with it seemed like it shifted around a little bit on me with that much weight in it, and that might just because it is a smaller frame pack. So it did have a little play side to side walking uphill with me, so that's the only negative I have about it.
Nice. And this is like the one pack out of all the packs today where I just felt like the lumbar was right on point. They do give you extra shims. If you like a thicker lumbar, you can slide them in there, but just how it came, it's nice and squishy, kind of forms right around your back. The shoulder pads, I feel like there could be a little more in there. I felt like I struggled a little with that weight up there, but overall, very impressed. Again, this was my first time packing with one of these.
Yeah, no, I first time using this pack. I've heard nothing but good about them in the past, so I was really excited for this one. Plus, Brady jumped on my back the other day here in the office, and I was pleasantly surprised with how it even carried live Brady on there. Obviously, it's different weight, but no, I really love this pack. I love the way it rode. Again, one of the problems was probably the lumbar pad. But like Jonah said, you have some shims and stuff. I honestly probably could have used just a little bit more on it, but absolutely love this pack and picking apart a good one.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is my first time running it too. I've got friends that have ran before. They've sang its praise. I think the thing I like the most about it is probably the way it's cinched down. Like I felt like once I cinched down that waist belt and that lumbar pad, everything just molded right to my hip. I mean, it just felt so good once I got it down, and once I strapped it on, it really felt solid. So I was really impressed with that. If there was anything that I would say was a con with it, it was probably just these shoulder, or where the point of entry came off on this, and probably its adjustability. For me, I just didn't have it adjusted right for my frame, but it just seemed like that these came off in a different point as far as the load lifter straps. It kind of was a little uncomfortable. I couldn't get fitted right, but other than that, man, I think I adjust that and it'd be great.
Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the videos, please subscribe. That helps us out a bunch. And stay tuned for the individual reviews that'll be coming out on each of these packs, where we go into more detail, fit, function, pockets, etc.